We're going to ask you to hold on, if you would, just a couple of minutes here, because on the phone line, joining us right now, we were expecting his call. He is now joining us, the Reverend Jesse Jackson. Reverend Jackson, thank you so much for being here.
Well, good. I just got in from Africa. I was in Nigeria addressing this issue of Boko Haram and hatred and killing and terrorism, as well as the cameras of the Ebola in spots. I was there dealing with that the last 2 days, and now I'm back home and feel the painful impact of this terroristic assassination on these police.
Reverend Jackson, there are those people who say that it is the President of the United States, Attorney General Eric Holder, Al Sharpton, and those folks who are helping to drive this narrative of hate, and that they have blood on their hands with the deaths of these two policemen. What is your opinion on that?
That's wild and irresponsible language. Clearly, he is a man who was mentally challenged, who shot his own girlfriend, estranged from his family, and posted killing two policemen. This is a cold-blooded, sick man, and to equate him with the dignity of a civil rights struggle for justice for all is not a fair equation.
But what about those who say that it is an agenda, if you will, that takes the cops to tasks, that makes the cops seem as if they are all evil, they are all against people of all races and all creeds, so that this then takes people such as this individual who may be addled, if you will, maybe mentally ill, and forces them and gives them the opportunity to do this?
I don't think that's the case. I think we should be careful not to try to stereotype all police. Most police do their jobs. When they don't do their jobs, when they see wrong and some blue code of silence will not tell it, when police have a justification for stopping, they should do it. Stopping someone. They should not stop and frisk. They should not raise the profile. They should not shoot unarmed people. You must separate those acts from regular, sound police work.
Reverend Jackson, we have had people in the streets protesting in New York, and you know this as well, you've heard it, where they say, what do we want? Dead cops. When do we want him? Now. Is it not the point of people such as the mayor, the president, Reverend Sharpton, even yourself, to come out and speak out as loudly and as clearly as you can and tell these people that this is wrong and this has got to stop?
Well, every time I've had the platform, I've said just that. You know, sometimes our struggle is infiltrated by elements that cannot draw their own crowd. I remember when Dr. King was leading a march to support garbage workers in Memphis in 1968. A group of infiltrators came into the march, couldn't draw their own crowd, and they threw some bricks and windows at the back of the march. The press covered the bricks, and the windows did not cover the march and the workers fighting for the right to collective bargaining. So the press made that choice. Even now, you have some elements who do not represent the heart of our civil rights struggle. We want equal protection under the law. We know there's something wrong when Trayvon Martin is shot and killed, and the jury says to kill him free. Something is wrong when Diallo is shot and killed, 41 times shot, and the killer walks free. When Amadou is shot, is reared in his rectum with a stick, he nearly bleeds to death. This is not right, and we're trying to correct the wrong, not to compound the problem.
All right, now
we need police, and police need people. We need each other. And I hope we'll find some common ground of reconciliation.
I want to use your words that you just said here a couple of moments ago. You said there are certain people who do not represent the heart of our civil rights struggle. Who are those people?
Well, those who say we want dead cops, they don't represent the heart of our civil rights struggle. Those who call for violence, they don't represent the heart of our civil rights struggle. We believe we can have nonviolent conflict resolution. Violence, number one, you cannot fight bullets with brick. No, you can't win the fight, number one. Number two, it distracts from the message of healing. And number three, there's no redemption in violence. So we believe in nonviolent direct action, and most people in those marches represent just that.
Then how do we then stop these people? I mean, I know that you probably have a few people in mind who are part of this. There's certainly individuals out there. There are those people who would say that the civil rights struggle is damaged by people such as the Reverend Sharpton and the President and the Attorney General itself.
Well, that's not true. Reverend Sharpton and Attorney General Holder and President Barack Obama sought mightily to get the glass out the wound. They've sought justice. They've sought fairness. They've sought inclusion. So to throw their names around that way is irresponsible and not fair.
What about those who say that these people, these civil rights leaders, the president himself involved, is not doing enough to take in the rights of all people, because we see things such as Black Lives Matter, and that, of course, launches on social media White Lives Matter, Cop Lives Matter. It's been said in Congress, too. Shouldn't there be a discussion here that all lives matter?
There's been such a pattern of Black Lives Matter, because you have a pattern of blacks being killed and the killers being set free by juries. You would simply say that everybody really does matter. You look at what the case of Amadou Diallo, Lil Ema, Rodney King, all these cases where blacks are beat, are shot, and the killers of the beaters walk away free. We need equal protection under the law for all people, whether it's domestic violence or street violence or assassination. But this sick man did these two police cops. It's very difficult to even talk about it. It's so ugly, so wrong. I've been trying to reach the relatives of the two police the last 2 days since we heard about it. They need all the condolences and mercy that we can afford.
Reverend Jackson, then you talk about the cases that are involved here. Let's talk specifically about Eric Garner and Michael Brown. There are those who will say flat out that these two men would be alive today had they not broken the law in the first place. Is that not a fair comment to make?
Well, it is. First of all, police who are arresting officers are not judges, jurors, and executioners. There's nothing that Michael Brown did, even an allegation that justified his being shot at 12 times and hit 8 times. There's nothing about Eric Garner that justified his being choked to death with other police looking on, not doing anything to rescue him. And that's what makes it so wrong. That's why there's such a broad-based reaction by people, because it's so wrong and so public and so visible.
Well, understanding that, and I think you're right, police are not judge, jury, and executioner. You are correct about that. But is it not fair to say that if Michael Brown had not committed an alleged strong-arm robbery in a store, and had Eric Garner not broken the law 30 times in 34 years, that they would not have been under the surveillance of police and these incidents never would have happened?
I'm glad that you say alleged, because there was no connection between his being stopped for jaywalking in his own neighborhood in the housing projects and two white police choosing to stop him. They found out later about the issue about the cigarettes, or the cigarillos, as the case may be. At some point, we must decide that eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, leave all us blind, this bigger than dead. We must stop being so quick on the trigger finger.
Let me bring you back to New York. Will you head for New York, and will you do what you can to try and bring this together and try and tamp this down?
No, I will not be coming to New York for that purpose. I think that the mayor, I thought it was awful when the mayor went to the hospital. Police turned their back on him. That sends a message that it's open season. Professional cops, in the face of pain, must remain professional. And turning your back on the chief executive office of the city is unprofessional, and it cannot be justified.
Could the mayor, though, have said it a little bit better when he certainly came out at his press conference and he was afraid that his biracial son might be afraid of the police department? I think that's pretty much what they're looking at right now, and saying that as the mayor of the city, he should have come out and said police are there to be respected, and I think that they took that as a slap.
Well, they're there to be respected and respectful. I have 3 boys. All 3 have looked down the gun barrels of police, neither of which was justified. All 3. Even if it's not made a big issue, all 3 have looked down the gun barrels of police. And I think that police have some obligation to work out better relations with the community. And we need police. Police need people. We must work out a relationship that allows us both to respect each other and pursue justice and fairness.
Then how do we bring this down to the level? We're getting all sorts of reports today of different police departments across the country that are seeing threats. We're seeing threats aimed at New York City right now. This gentleman who came up from Baltimore to do this. How do we then slow this down?
It's very difficult to say. You know, I thought he dropped Eric Garner's name and Michael Brown's name. If he was trying to seek revenge for them, he walked past police in Baltimore to get to New York. I mean, this is not a political assassination. This was the action of a deranged, sick man. We should not equate the action of a sick man who did a sick thing with mass demonstrations for justice and for healing. Don't make that equation.
Have you spoken to the president about this?
I have not.
Will you speak to him and give him your counsel?
He does not need. He is sufficient counsel. He's counseled by the Attorney General. He's counseled by Reverend Al Chopper. I do not communicate with him that much, but I understand what he is trying to do. He is a fair man, and he's a just man, and it's unfair to equate his appeal for reconciliation, which he has campaigned on. It's unfair to equate what he has done to being the cause of the killing of these two police. That's really extreme rhetoric.
All right. Reverend Jackson, we want to thank you very much for your time. We look forward to the next time we speak, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Reverend Jesse Jackson weighing in on what has happened in New York. Again, we did want to bring you up to speed that, as we just noted, there are a number of threats that are coming in to New York City Police Department from states across America. There is social media. There are threats saying that we are heading for New York. Social media is now filled with people, different people, who are saying that they are going to come to New York and they're going to finish the job. We should also point out here that the NYPD has told all of its officers that they respond to every call from here on out with 2 cars, no matter what the opinion of the patrol supervisor. And they are not to make arrests unless absolutely necessary. What exactly then becomes absolutely necessary is going to become part of the issue itself here. As Reverend Jackson just noted, he's not quite sure where we take it from here or where even the president goes from here. A word would be helpful. We'll continue right here on MidPoint.